Hey guys,
This is Ruby,
and Nicole.
and you're listening to She's All That. Hello, She's All That podcast listeners. if you are new, welcome. We're so happy to have you. If this is the second time or more, welcome back. We're happy you are back and you are still supporting us.
Yes, Ruby, you really nailed that intro.
Nicole, one of my goals, honestly, is to make our intros a little bit more interesting. I mean, a lot better. So thank you. I appreciate it.
To like warm up, and we just throughout the episode, it gets more fluid. But the beginning, man, it's rough.
We're like interrupting. We're laughing at, I don't even know what.
I don't either.
I think we're laughing at how awkward we sound.
I think so too. Well, what Ruby said, thanks for coming back and listening to us despite our work in progress. And we hope that you enjoy our episode.
Yes. So let's get into the juicy stuff and spill some tea. We decided to talk about some breakups.
Yeah.
And what we have learned, or maybe mine isn't really a breakup, but heartache, and what we've learned.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So hashtag hope he's not listening.
Yes.
Again. But yeah.
This time though, we're going to be actually diving into specific men, like a guy in your life and one certain guy in my life, not like last time we talked about multiple guys, I think.
Right. This is a little more specific. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys are going to be getting all the deets. So buckle up and get ready.
Yeah. Do you have any updates?
Updates? Oh, well, I do have one that I'll tell you about. I went on a date. It was a blind date. Did I tell you about this or no?
No.
Okay.
Wait, I think I don't know. Actually, yes, you did. Never mind. But tell our listeners.
Okay. So I went on a blind date and I was like, you know what? This is a life experience and I want to experience these things before I am married or in a committed relationship because I want to go do these things, right? So when I say blind date, I mean blind date. I didn't even know what this guy looked like. I didn't know anything about him at all, except that his name was, I'm going to have to come back to that.
You don't even remember his name?
I'm going to come back. I don't remember, but
I thought you were pausing because you didn't want to say his name. You were thinking about him. You were thinking about making a name up.
I probably shouldn't say his name, but I don't remember it anyway. But anyway, it was a generic name. And we went and he decided, this was his date idea, to go axe throwing. So, you go and you get the axe and you throw it. And to be honest with you, I'm a little competitive and I wanted to win. I'd never done this before. And let me tell you, I am good. Like, I was throwing the axe in the bullseye thing every time. The people that worked there kept coming over and giving me like a tiny axe, one of those little like ninja star things. And I kept just throwing things like with right hand, left hand, throwing all the way. Everything landed on the bullseye. And the guy, Ruby, was like, it's a little troubling. He was like legit a little bit troubled by how good I was at axe throwing. But anyways, I totally found a hidden talent. It was pretty amazing. Goodness. Yeah. I mean, the guy, mediocre at best. The axe throwing, amazing.
The idea, the activity
it was
on
so
point.
Fun.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I've seen so many people do that though lately.
Yeah.
Is there like a bar there or something? Because I've seen people like drinking too when they do it.
Which seems really irresponsible.
Yeah, it does. I was about to say that.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have drinking at the one we went to, but there's a bar, like a brewery right next door. So we threw some axes. I killed it. They even came over and like took pictures for their website of me for the website.
What?
I kid you not. And you want to know something crazy?
What?
That seems to be a thing in my life because when I went skydiving, they also put my pictures on the website. And so I'm like, what is with the website? I feel like I should be like getting some
model
payment.
Worthy. There we go.
I wouldn't go that far, but I feel like I need some payment for this. Like, you know.
Yeah, you should be asking them, how much am I going to be making profit here?
I know. So I guess I'm an Axe model now. So like I charge $200 an hour. No, or per picture.
Per picture.
But yeah, so then we went to the brewery. But yeah, no, it was just an axe throwing place. No,
that's so
beer.
Fun though.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Fun experience.
Yeah. Anyways, enough about me. Updates. What do you have anything?
I met my dad. It was like it was fine meeting him. It didn't, you go 23 years without a dad. So I still don't think that it doesn't feel like he is my dad. So like my family members and my loved ones were like texting me throughout my trip and stuff like that. And it was like, I don't know. I just kept on saying like, doesn't feel like he's my dad. It's not like I'm really happy and excited, because he's like a stranger. It's like meeting my uncle or like meeting my cousin, like nothing that meaningful, if that makes sense. But I will for sure say that out of that experience, I am very grateful for the way that I was raised and just my life. I felt like God he just kept on showing up and reminding me and just like placing it on my heart and just saying like, Ruby, this is why we waited 23 years. Like, this is why you didn't receive him when you were 6, or I'm receiving like a package. That's what he was in your life when you were 6 years old, or when you're in high school. Because it's not, I think, I know my life would have been very different. And so I just came back and I got in the car when my mom picked me up and I was like, Mom, thank you for all that you have done and how you raised me and all of your sacrifices, because man, I love the woman that I am today. And I would not be that woman if you stayed in California with my dad. And I'm just so eternally, I think I was more thankful to be able to see that and witness that and just seeing God in those 23 years of my life. Being so faithful, even though I didn't see that.
Right. That's amazing. That's like I don't know the word for it, but just, it's like all coming together for you, when you don't know God's plan, and it's always like, you feel like he was failing you all along in that department or whatever, in certain parts of your life. And then you're like, whoa, I see your purpose in doing that. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just about that. No boys. And I'll tell you why there's no boys in a few seconds. So,
oh boy. Okay, we'll take it away. Do you want to tell us?
No, I want you to go first.
Oh, you want me?
Tell us about Mocha. We have code names.
So we thought of some code names. My boy, well, not my boy anymore, but his name is Mocha. Mocha Frap. No, just kidding. His name's Mocha because our first date was at a coffee shop, and that's where I saw him for the first time. And he is not a latte, but a mocha, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So anyways, I don't know if anyone's going to pick that up, but
you want to explain what you mean by that?
No, I'm going to leave that up to interpretation. So I'm a latte, if that helps. So anyways, when I had moved to where I'm currently living about a year and a half ago, holy smokes, I can't believe it's been that long. It was literally within, I think I'd only lived here for a week, and Ruby was actually coming to visit me like that weekend. And so it was Friday, and I was at a coffee shop with a girl that I had just met who's also a teacher, and this guy walked into the coffie shop. And I was like, woo-wee, who is that guy? Like, God took his time on him. And I didn't know this guy, obviously. And I just met this girl. It wasn't like, if I was with you, Ruby, I would have been like, Ruby, holy cow, look at that hot guy. Da, da, da. But I just met this girl. I didn't want her to think I was like weird. So I just like dismissed it, right? And then I honestly just was like, whatever with this guy. And then Ruby comes, and Ruby, of course, like the second thing she asked me, so have you seen any cute guys? Like, and I was like, honestly, actually, I saw this really cute guy at a coffee shop, but
it's all about the boys, ladies.
Yeah. I mean, nothing else matters. Your job, your home, who cares? Boys.
How are the boys in Tri-Cities? Should I move or not?
Is it worth moving for and relocating my whole life? So, anyways, I told Ruby, I was like, actually, he's a really cute guy, blah, blah, whatever. Okay. Then on Sunday, so Ruby comes Friday or Saturday, I don't remember. We go to church on Sunday, and I'm in the process of church hopping to find like a home church. And I'm like, do you want to try out this church? And she's like, yeah. So we sit in the back row, we're just like hanging out. And then in walks this guy, legit 2 or 3 days later. And I was like, Ruby, Ruby. And I was like hitting her. And I was like, that's the coffee shop guy. That's the coffee shop guy. And it was really crazy. Okay. Time went on. Like,
wait, no, can I just share one thing? I remember we were in church and you were like, oh my word. I was like, I've never seen Nicole ever act this way or just like, yeah, bring up some of the things she was bringing up. And I was like, Nicole, no. Anyway, so we were in church, we were in the very back, and this guy sits next to this girl. And she was like, and Nicole was like, oh, I'm pretty sure they're dating. Like, they're probably boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm like, I don't think so. He doesn't really look that loving towards her. Like relationship-y, nothing. I think they're just friends. Turns out they were probably just friends and not dating, but go ahead. I just wanted to
No, it's true. And I was like, no, Ruby, they're dating. And Ruby's like, I'm pretty sure they're not. Think so. But okay.
Doesn't seem like it.
I know. So then like, okay, a month or two passed and honest to God, I forgot about this guy. I was so busy. You know, your first year of teaching is so overwhelming and it is like the hardest thing you're ever going to do in your life. And you want to cry all the time almost because you're overwhelmed and it's just a lot. And so I literally like, I just feel like my life was teaching and I just didn't care about other stuff. Anyways, it took me months until I like finally started to kind of get my groove and feel like I wasn't like treading water at all times. And I actually was on Instagram and Ruby taught me this, that you go and you put in the, Ruby, you're such a core of the story. You put in the location of where you live and then you go and see what people are doing in that location for fun. So you can like see, oh, look how cute that coffee shop is. Look how cute this is. So I did that. I'm scrolling and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Mocha frickin' frap. Like here he is just on my page. Like what the heck? So I stalk him and I'm like, holy cow, this guy's so cute. He's so perfect. Goes to church. Definitely very attractive. Looks so nice. Like doesn't have a girlfriend in any of his pictures. So I'm like, you know what? Your girl's going to shoot her shot. I push follow. Then I really thought, that's me shooting my shot, pushing follow. I really thought he was not, I thought it was going to be one of those situations where I'm just following him forever and he has no idea who I am. And like never, you know, whatever. I was just going to be a stalker. Anyways, follows me back, slides into my DMs, asks me out on a date. We go on a date the next day to a coffee shop. Coffee was like great. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into dinner. We spent the whole day together. It was amazing. And it was like the best first date I've ever gone on in my life. And I remember after I was like, holy crap. Like, I think that I just met like a potential future husband. Like he was so amazing. Like all these things I'd prayed for that he had that I mean, I know I'm very picky, but I just don't meet a lot of guys that have everything I pray for. So it was really a crazy moment. And yeah, so we started seeing each other. We started we started going on dates like every other day and hanging out like every other day for hours and hours. And then he like sat me down and was like, so I have something to tell you. You're going to be really upset. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And he's like, well, I'm moving across the country in like a year. And I was like, oh, great. So anyways, I was like, I don't want to see you anymore. Why would I keep seeing you if there's like an expiration date? That didn't really work out. We still kept seeing each other, but like very inconsistently. So he would come over and like have dinner and we would hang out and blah, blah, blah. Like he took me to his work Christmas party and introduced me to all these friends. And it didn't feel like it was nothing, you know, but so time came. And he was moving soon and I like really had grown feelings for him because at this point it had been like 9 months and we weren't dating, but it felt like we were in some ways. And so I kind of like, I invited him over, I made him dinner and I sat him on my couch and I like spilled out my whole entire freaking guts to him. I was like, I like, you know, compare everybody to you and I really like you and I would be willing to go long distance with you and all this stuff. And like, anyways, he was like, yeah, no. I mean, sorry, I can laugh about it now, but he was like, well, I think you're amazing and and all this stuff. And he's like, but I'm just not ready and all these things. So this is actually why I loved the question that you asked on the he said, she said thing, because he's the one, I'm the kind of person when we break up or we say goodbye, we're done. I'm never talking to you again in my life. He left and kept coming back like all the time, sliding into my DMs, texting me, all this stuff all the time, like every 2 weeks. Actually at first it was like every other day. And then it started to like, and I would ask him multiple times, like, stop talking to me, blah, blah, blah. He didn't really respect my boundaries very well. But actually record time, I think it's been 2 months since he's reached out, which is the longest since I met him, which it's been like over a year now. So anyways, that's good. He's respecting my boundaries after I asked for the 100th time.
He's making progress.
He sure is. So anyways, that's my story. And I'll dig deeper later about all of it. But anyways, go for it, Ruby. Tell me yours.
Okay, so I guess mine isn't as like, we didn't really date. So I'm going to sound so obsessive right now, really, after like...
No. I gas station boy has like a special place in my heart because not in my heart. I don't like him, but like I think of him in a special way because like you said, Ruby doesn't like a lot of people. She's very picky. So when you were really just like swooning over gas station boy, I was like, okay, this must be the real deal. Like this guy must be pretty great,
Yeah. So I think this was like 3 or 4 years ago. So I was in college. So like maybe 3 years ago.
I want to say it was like our sophomore year of college or something.
Yeah.
Or junior year.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I'm saying that. 3 years ago. Okay. It was before I was 21. So for sure I was like 20. And I went to the Fred Meyer gas station in Bellingham. And I pull up and I'm about to get some gas. And I don't know, I think I had like every single time. I don't know if any of you guys do this, but every single time I go to the store, fun fact, I like to get a chocolate bar. Even if I'm grocery shopping or if I'm going to go buy a book, whatever it is, I love to buy chocolate bars. So my car, literally the side door is filled with chocolate wrappers. And so when I go to the gas station, I always throw away all my chocolate wrappers. And I did that day. And
I just want to insert really quick. I want to say that I remember specifically a time that we were driving to the gym or something, and you were going to the gym eating a chocolate bar. Oh. Like literally eating the whole chocolate bar and then wiping the excess chocolate on the yoga pants before going to the gym. So yes, this is a very true statement.
And I do want to say I usually have a bag of like mini chocolates or something in my car to snack on because it's my weakness. Anyways, and so I just want to remind you guys that, I am very picky, but when my ex-boyfriend and I broke up, it was hard to find someone that I liked. Like I would go on a date and then I'd be like, no, and next. And even after this guy, I was like, no, next. Like nothing. I wasn't really interested in a guy. And so I start filling up my tank and I go throw away my garbage, and the tank behind me, what do you call it? Would you call it the tank or the the station behind me?
Oh, the gas station thing. Yeah.
The thingy. Yeah. Right
where
next
the
to mine.
Where the gas comes out of the hose thing.
Gas station boy was there, and you guys, I literally saw him and I was completely speechless. Like he said hi to me and I didn't even say hi back. I literally was like, holy moly, this guy is the hottest man I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like, and speechless is not a word that defines me. Okay. So I was completely speechless, could not say hi. And so I literally walked back to my car and stood behind the thing because I didn't want him to see me because I was just so in shocked. And then he obviously walked to the garbage and he said hi to me again. And that's when I said hi to him. And I was like, hi, but really quietly. But I didn't know what to do. I was like a sophomore. I wasn't really that confident in myself because I was just I just got out of a relationship. And so I got in my car. I did take the gas handle thingy out and put it back, but I forgot to shut the door, the gas tank
the
door.
gas lid thing.
The gas lid, yeah. And so I started driving off, and he's right behind me, and I had to stop in front of near the traffic light, and he had to stop right behind me, and I got out to close it. It was so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Well, it turns out, it's so weird. It turns out that we've been following each other on Instagram for a while. And I didn't even realize that. But it was because we had a ton of mutual friends, because I was like a cheerleader and he was like an athlete at Western. Anyway, so we went on a date, and I remember just leaving and calling my friends and just being so in awe of this guy. Like, our date, I think, was only like 2 hours, but I was like, holy moly, like, I don't want to say this guy's the one, but I can see so much potential.
Didn't you guys go to Menchie's?
Yeah, we went to Menchie's.
Okay,
oh,
yes,
wow, Nicole,
yes.
You remembered.
Girl,
yes.
I remember the gas station boy, like, really well, because I remember it, like, you were really excited about him, so I was excited about him.
Yeah, and then he told me he wanted to pursue a soccer career. And he was going to Mexico. And during that time, I knew that I wasn't ready to be a girlfriend. And I knew that as a girlfriend, I want to support my partner. And I knew I was not in a position to do that, because I was just getting out of an abusive relationship. My confidence was really low. I was struggling. I didn't even know how to love myself. So I would not have been able to be a really great girlfriend. And so we stopped talking. But we would still, like, once in a while, like, talk on Instagram or Snapchat and stuff like that. And then he got a girlfriend for like a year and a half. And that to me was so hard to watch, to the point where I actually deleted him. I didn't even tell him. I just deleted him off Snapchat because I didn't want to see any of that anymore. Then they broke up. And this was like, I think over the summer. It was during COVID season. During COVID season, they broke up, and they were like, he was like 2 months single, and he reached out to me, and we started talking, and we started going on dates, and we started messaging and flirting and stuff like that. And he lives, I can't really say that, but he lives like 3 hours away from me. Okay, you guys, I live in Bellingham. He lives like 4 or 5 hours away. And we were messaging, and he finally told me that he could not do long distance, just like Nicole. And so, I was like, I guess we're going to go into this. But I literally, when he told me that, I was like, straight up was like, well, this is just a waste of my time talking to you, because if you don't see yourself dating me because of long distance, then why in the world are we still talking? Mm-hmm. And it was really difficult, but I'm so glad I did it, because I was so hung up on this guy for literally 3 years. I would compare every guy. I would say, well, I really want to meet a guy that I get so excited like I did with Gas Station Boy. And I still have not met a guy that gets me that excited, and I see so much potential. But I don't think those 3 years went to waste, of me being so hung up on him or anything. It was definitely a lesson learned.
Yeah. I want to come back. I don't want to insert it now, but I do want to come back about the getting excited about someone thing, because I have something to say about that.
Well, no, tell us.
Well, I don't want to like veer off too much, but I want your opinion about this, because I also, when I first met Mocha, I also was like so excited, and I was thinking about it though. And I feel like that's not always, there's also people that are so happy in relationships where they meet someone that really grew on them, where they weren't super certain at first. And those are good relationships too. I just don't give people enough time to grow on me. And so I feel like I need to stop comparing everything to being like, I'm going to know after one date that he's the one and that he has so much potential. Like, some people you can tell right away, and it's going to take a while to, grow on you and make you realize, I think. I
agree. I actually didn't even I guess it's just really hard because I've already experienced that excitement. I've already experienced. Yeah. And every single time we would talk, even like once in a while, we always had these like deep, meaningful conversations. It was never like, how are you? Or how's teaching? Or how's like your new nothing. It was just so personal and vulnerable, you know, and it was just so meaningful. And I think that what was so hard, that it's hard with other guys. It's not that easy to do that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, totally. I feel like we had very similar experiences.
Yeah.
Like when I hear you talk about it, I relate a lot.
Yeah. And on top of that, actually, really funny story. This is how much I used to love going on dates. I don't really go on dates anymore as much as I used to. But when I met him, I went on a date like 2 days after that. But that was the week that I went on like 5 or 6 dates.
I remember very distinctly.
And when I say 5 or 6 dates, I literally mean Monday to Friday. Like it wasn't a whole like 7 days. It was so exhausting. I hated it.
I remember.
Absolutely hated it.
Ruby, in the car with you, you'd be like, I went on this date Monday, Tuesday. I skipped Wednesday because, you know, like that's too much. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I went on 2 dates on one day.
Yeah.
It was, oh my god.
Ruby would tell me these guys, like she'd be like, remember Jack? I'm just making that name up. You remember Jack? And I'm like, girl, you go on 6 dates a week. I don't remember Jack. Like at this point, there's 4 different Jacks. Like, oh my gosh, that was too funny.
No, yeah. But out of those 6 dates that week or 5 dates, he stood out. He was the one that just was wow.
Okay, so tell me, like, we kind of both made a list of a couple things we learned, and just, I guess we're going to talk a little bit about, like, breakups and just what we learned and what we're doing now. I don't know. What was one thing you kind of learned, Ruby?
Okay. Shoot, I'll say, then you'll say one, then we'll one thing was there has to be an end goal. That's when I realized, like, I can't be wasting my time. And when he told me that he would never try long distance because of his past experience. And that to me really annoyed me, because then I was like, well, then you're not ready to date, because if you're still so stuck in your past and you're still hurt then and you have not fully healed, which means you're probably going to hurt me. And he was so in shock when I told him that, because I literally did say, like, it's a waste of my time talking to you then, if you're not going to date me because of long distance. And he was so confused. And he was like, well, I don't think it's a waste of my time. I enjoy talking to you. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense, because if we're not going to end up being boyfriend and girlfriend, what's the point of talking and flirting? Like, we weren't talking like we were friends. Mm-hmm. We were literally flirting and going on dates and stuff like that. And so to me, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous if you can't see that it's a waste of both of our times. Because it's not even, if we don't grow feelings, we don't grow feelings. But I could be talking to someone who does see a future with me, and you don't see that. And that's fine. But that doesn't mean I need to be waiting around. And I think that he just needed to heal from his past. And I was just like, okay, I want to date. I've been single for 5 years. I am ready to be in a relationship, and you're not going to give me that. So I'm going to go talk to someone who will, or find someone, or wait for someone who is willing to step up and do that. And I don't think that means he didn't like me or that he didn't admire me or anything like that. I think it was just, he wasn't ready. He just wasn't in a position to be able to love me and care for me and all those things in a long distance way.
100. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I think, it's, I mean, ditto, everything you said, I experienced the same thing. So I totally understand all of that. What I wrote down is super simple. It's literally one sentence, and I'm not even going to elaborate on it, but literally, if God closes a door, it's for a reason. And so even though it's so much easier said than done, trust that the door God is closing is for a reason. He might open that door back up in the future, or he might not. And he's going to open an even bigger and better door for you, because that's not what he had planned for you. So just knowing, if God closes a door, he's going to open another one, and it's going to be a way better freaking door. So,
amen times a million. Yes. Also, I think at first when I messaged him and I said that, I felt that, when he told me he didn't want to do long distance, I felt like he thought I wasn't worthy enough, or I wasn't enough to for that to happen. And so during that time, I think it was more like, I don't think it was anger. Maybe it was anger or frustration, but that's when I realized like who you date is who you think you see, how you see yourself. Like who you date is how you see yourself. And to me, I'm like, I am so worth long distance and I'm enough. And I know that I'm worthy and he doesn't see that. So why would I stick around and wait for someone who doesn't see that, you know?
Yes, no, 100%. And this is what got me through that, is I always told myself, if God calls husbands to love their wives like he loves the church
and care for them.
Yes, any man would be willing to do something as simple as a long distance for 1 year. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be the smallest thing that you ask of them when it comes to if you're going to end up getting married. Marriage is freaking hard and you're going to have to ask a lot of the other person. So I just think I agree with you totally.
Want to know something that really made me happy though?
Yeah, tell me.
Actually it was last week it was during Thanksgiving break when I was in California. He messaged me and as always, we had a very meaningful conversation about like our personal life and what we struggle with or things like that. And he brought it up again. And it was really strange when he messaged me because we stopped talking for a while. It's been a while since we stopped talking or since we've talked, but he was like, he brought it up again. And I remember him being like, well, you're going to buy a house where you live next year. And to me, like, as like, kind of like implying like there's no point of pursuing something because you're going to start your life in Linden and I'm starting my life here and I'm buying a house here. So there's just no point kind of thing, you know, which I think that once you start dating someone, eventually someone's going to have to move, right? But I didn't say that to him. But to me, that made me so proud of myself because it just showed that he knows a man, I'm not waiting for a man to do all these things. Like he knows that I'm not going to just give up my life and surrender all of that for someone and just move wherever they are because he's my boyfriend or my husband or someone that I like. And so to me, for him to see that side of me, you know, and respect that and honor that. And I don't know, like just seeing that strong, independent woman in me, it just made me so happy, you know? And I could have been like, well, you know what? If I end up liking you, you know, and we start dating for a year, I would move, you know, and I probably would, but I would never, I'm so happy that I didn't say that. You know? So and when I say I probably would, it's just because I'm a teacher and it's a lot easier to find a job wherever, you know, kind of thing. But that did make me smile that he saw that I'm starting my life and I'm not waiting around for someone to provide all of that.
Yeah, totally. What did you share your second one? I don't think you did, right?
Yeah, it was who you date is who you see yourself.
Well, literally, I'm going to piggyback off of the, what you just talked about, because I have the same thing, but like flipped. So I am very like, I've noticed this more about myself this year. I'm stubborn and I am kind of prideful at times. I know those are things I'm working on. But I'm a strong, independent woman. I can do it on my own. I don't need anybody's help. Like I got myself here. Like that's my personality. And I think like when I was trying to get over Mocha, my sister actually told me, she was like, Nicole, like, I know you're a strong, independent, modern woman. Okay. She's like, but sometimes it takes meeting someone else to get over someone. Like you can't always fully do it yourself. Sometimes it takes someone else coming into your life to make you realize what you had wasn't that great, or there's really good guys out there still. And being the stubborn person I am, I'm like, no, I can get over him all by myself. I don't need anybody else to show me, you know. Anyways, then I met someone who did show me that there is really good guys out there, and, you know, I am worthy of a good guy and all of that. So anyways, The thing I learned was you don't always have to do it alone. Like there's people that God brings into your life that are there to teach you lessons, and it may take somebody else in your life to teach you or to help you move on. And that's perfectly okay. You don't have to do it alone. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, also on top of that, when you go through a breakup or a heartache, I don't know about you and how you dealt with it, Nicole, but for me and through my experiences, I think because of everything that I dealt, this heartache wasn't really difficult. For me, it was just like, okay, well, it was a waste of my time talking to you. Bye, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just like moved on. And even when he would message me, it didn't bother me. It didn't, because I know that nothing's going to happen. And I know it just didn't hurt me, if that makes sense. But I think it's because of everything that I've experienced during COVID that I really had to just surrender my whole entire life and know that the only person that's going to fully heal me is God. And that's it. No Instagram. I don't have a dating app, but if you end up just going back on a dating app, or, you know, like if things don't fulfill me or is not going to fulfill me and heal me from this pain and everything and this heartache. And I think that's what helped me a lot during the COVID season, and which is what helped me be okay with gas station boy and just being fine. Like, okay, see you later. Bye. Or not see you later. Like, bye. I ain't seeing you later.
Boy, bye. I ain't seeing you anytime.
No. You know, but I think a lot of the time you forget the importance of surrendering that to God and actually crying and screaming and writing it all down and letting it all out instead of letting it, you know, just bottle up.
Yes. And, you know, a great song that will help you do that is the song Even When It Hurts. Mm-hmm. Type it in. That's my favorite song. And I literally have fallen to my knees crying many times while listening to that, because it's all about surrendering. And like, even when it hurts, I'll praise you. Like, even through all the rough patches and the hardships, but you'll still praise God and know that he's there for you, and he's going to open up a shinier, beautiful, amazing door for you.
Yes. And if you listen to that song, this is what I did. When I was going through all that, I would listen to that song there was 3 certain songs, that one and then 2 other songs. And I was always driving on Highway 2, and it was just beautiful mountains and just trees and river and it was just, the scenery was absolutely gorgeous. And when every single time it would bring up that I will praise you, it just like, I would look at just God's beauty and just smile. Because I'm like, wow, there's so much to praise God. So I would suggest being out in nature so you can truly see all of God's beauty.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Nice. Alrighty. Breakups and
Bandaids.
It's coming to a close.
It sure is. But that was good. I really liked hearing all of your input, and I feel like I hope that like helped people, or maybe some people can relate to it.
Yeah.
And have their own crazy experiences.
Well, that's why I asked the boys. I was like, what do you think about long distance? You know, does that mean they don't really like you, you know, just because it's going on or long distance? And when I asked them about the whole, like, why he keeps on popping back in like it's nothing? Because I'm like, okay, this is really weird. I need a boy's perspective on this.
Which, by the way, I posted this on the podcast Instagram, which you should go follow. She's All That Pod. But put that little plug in there. But a guy slid into my DMs and was like, I have an answer for that. And I felt like this was very true because this was my prediction. He said that guys do that a lot. They'll come back all the time because it's a validation thing. I mean, girls do it too. Like, you're going to slide in, see if they respond, flirt a little bit, whatever. It's instant validation, dip, go see if there's anything better. But then it's like, it's that convenience, knowing you can always come back. You know, like, and they get validation in the process because they know, I still got her.
I ain't responding.
Yeah, no.
I'm not giving you any validation.
Yeah. Be all that, like, live your life. Like, don't wait on any man. I mean, truly,
and don't date
woman.
Trash, okay? Don't date trash, because you're, like I said, you date who you think you are, and you're not trash. You're all that. So
you're just, you're never going to look back and be like, dang it, I wish I wasn't an independent person that did my own thing and lived my life. you know, but you are going to look back and say, dang it, I wish I didn't sacrifice what I wanted and change my plans for somebody who didn't even care about me or do the same for me in return, you know? So girl, boy, whoever you are, get it. Date someone great that loves you and treats you well.
Heck yeah. Amen.
All right, you guys, we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Yes. Besos.